Hey there, for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Dakota Walker, and I wanted to share with you a quick video about the Gaia Wisdom Mentorship. We are beginning in just a couple of weeks, and I'm really excited about it. And right now we're just finishing up one round, which has been based on the Sacred Heart Warrior, or the South Direction, and let me tell you, it has been an absolutely incredible journey, not just for me, but for the students who have been enrolled in it as well. But before I tell you too much about the program itself, I want to tell you a quick story. So I had a grandmother, an amazing grandmother, Isabel, who in her own way put me onto a trajectory that would completely change my life. I had a very dull life in my early 20s and was quickly heading down the path that so many do, going to a job that I wasn't passionate about. It was an ends to a means, and that's about it. I was in a relationship where I didn't feel deeply connected. I spent my days going to work, coming home, punching a to-do list, punching a clock, watching TV, and getting up to do it all over again. I think in my soul, I knew that I didn't want to follow in the same footsteps that so many other people do, where they get stuck in the story of not having enough, not being enough, not having a life that feels alive or has deep meaning. And my parents followed that path. Many of my clients are on that path. So back to my grandma. I would visit her on the weekends, and every time that I went over, she would stop everything that she was doing, and she would make us a cup of tea, and we'd sit down in her living room, and she gave me 100% of all of her attention. And she wanted to know everything that I was doing in my life, how I was, how my week was. And I would tell her the story of my week, which never really amounted to anything. Not anything terribly exciting. On a good week, I could tell her a funny story or two about my dog, Kaylee. But for the most part, nothing was epic. You know, at the end of every conversation, she would look me in the eyes, and she would just simply ask me, "Are you happy? Are you happy?" And for a while, I would just nod my head, lie to her and say yes, because the truth was I wasn't happy, but I didn't want her to know the truth. I didn't want to face the truth. That one simple question stuck with me for days and weeks and months and finally years, until one day I couldn't bear to lie to her anymore, not alone to myself anymore. And I knew that there was more. I craved for a life that felt like it had some grit to it. I wanted to feel it all, and to experience adventure and spontaneity and all the things that go along with living outside of the box, outside of the norm. I wanted to let go of all the baggage that I held so tightly to, and to heal the wounds that kept me numb and isolated. I wanted to wake up in the mornings and be excited about going to work and excited to be in love. I wanted to be able to tell stories about my life that made people hold on to every word, wanting to know what was next. And that's what I wanted. And Grandma knew it. She knew what was inside of me. She saw it probably from the day I was first born. And she also saw the dimmed light in my eyes. And in retrospect, I feel that she knew that her one simple question would start to erode the illusion that I stayed in. So the day I told my grandma that I was moving to Arizona to follow a dream, I didn't even know what the dream really was. But she didn't lecture me about how I should have a job lined up or money saved or a well put together plan. She just simply smiled, and she asked me one last time, "Will this make you happy?" And the truth was, I didn't know for sure if it would or not, but I felt like it was a step in the right direction. It was a step out of a very small box and into something that was, really quite bigger than me. And that step led me to a path where I began carving out a life that felt epic, and it felt bold, and it felt adventurous. And the stories, I have a ton of stories of experiences that I've had over the years that will make you hang on to every word, just wanting to know how did it all turn out. Stories about being chased by bears and mountain lions and rock climbing and kayaking. I mean, just epic adventures. And it doesn't mean that I have been free of pain or hurt or grief or sadness or even anger. I feel and have felt all of those things, but I feel them. That's the point. And I feel them along with the joy, along with the passion and the love and the connectedness. I feel extremely fortunate to have learned this at such a young age. I was 22 years old when I began my quest for creating this life, and everything always led me back to two things: Native American spirituality and Celtic spirituality. Later I learned the significance of my deep interest in the Celtic world when I began exploring my bloodline, and I found that I came from a very long lineage of kings and queens of Scotland and Ireland, and among my ancestors were many high druids. And as my journey began to unfold and make itself more clear, I began using the framework of the medicine wheel, or the sacred wheel. And it is an ancient tool that has been around for thousands and thousands of years, used for spiritual growth, healing, ritual and ceremony. And as I began working with this tool, I quickly realized the value and the depth of change that it can produce, even in our modern day life. It was and remains to be a guiding point for me, which allows me to live my life from a more integrated and complete place. It is the tool that I share with my clients, and for those who come here for retreats who, much like me many years ago, feel stuck and lifeless. So now the bridge to the mentorship program. Over the past 8 years, I have had many people ask me if I would take them on as an apprentice or if I could mentor them in some way. And from a realistic standpoint, I just couldn't work one-on-one with people, not to the capacity that I would have wanted to. So at first I started the Shamanic Coaching Certification Program, and it's very thorough, but it wasn't satisfying the itch for some who didn't necessarily want to make this their job or career, but wanted to be mentored more from the place of being committed to their own personal and soul growth. Plus, the certification program is a self-paced online program, and I wanted something more interactive. So I birthed the mentorship program, which is live, it's engaging, it's very interactive and chock full of tools and information, deep dives, meditations, community, and so much more. In fact, I would have to say that the mentorship may very well be the best program that I have ever created. And I've created a lot of programs in the last 20-some years, and it continues to be created and molded and shaped and morphed into something so transforming for folks. Seeing the people who have gone through the mentorship in this last round, from the first day they started to now, has just been absolutely mind-blowing. So the mentorship is based on the medicine wheel and the soul archetypes and my many years of just simply doing this work. So here's how it's laid out. The program is 2 months long, which, trust me, goes by far too quickly when you're doing deep dives like this. Every other week we will meet live in our virtual classroom, and on the other weeks you will have another video class from me with exercises and guided meditations to do. And in this next round we're heading into the West direction, or the alchemist soul archetype, where we're going to explore our shadow aspects. We're going to create some really healthy boundaries and learn how to maintain them. We're going to work on our core beliefs and really fine-tune what it is that we actually believe and why we believe it. We'll be doing some soul retrieval, and we're going to work with our ancestors, so Isabel may show up. She always does. And we're going to also create sacred spaces in our immediate environment and really kind of assess where we are, how we take up space in this world, and what that looks like. And from all of this, we transform. We rebirth ourselves into the best part of ourselves. And we will discover how to balance the energy of the alchemist in our life so that we can live more in tune with the environment around us also. You're also going to learn tools that work. real life, easy to integrate, and transforming tools. You're not going to learn airy-fairy stuff that doesn't hold a lot of weight or water. You're going to walk away from this a different person, I guarantee you. You will feel confident and courageous and powerful, and you will know what your next best step is in creating and living your sacred purpose. In fact, I feel so confident about the mentorship program that I will offer you a 100% money-back guarantee if you don't feel it was worth your time and effort. But you have to put in the effort and show up. That's the only way that it's going to work. But you won't be alone either. We have forums and community areas so you can get to know your fellow soul travelers. You'll be able to work in a smaller group of people, I call them soul pods, and form a lasting bond with them. In fact, some of our soul pods have, from this current round, have met in person and continue to build their friendships there. I just got an email yesterday that 3 of them met on a phone call and had a little community time with each other. There's also an extremely robust Facebook group where the conversations continue alongside the courses, and we also now have an entire social media platform within the website itself. And sometimes I can't even keep up with all the conversations. There's so much of it, but I do, and this is where I come in. Not only am I teaching and sharing the tools with you, but I'm also engaged in the community, and I'm always checking in with the groups, the soul pods, and I'm a very hands-on type of teacher, and I really care about your journey and where you are. I know that going through soul work can be tough and emotional, and there are going to be breakdowns along the way, but I'm the type of teacher who likes to support you during those breakdowns so that you can make your way through to a breakthrough. Now, having said all of this, I want people who are serious and committed to their soul growth. I want people who want to live a more authentic and more truthful and more connected life. And I think that's you. I want people who are engaged in their process and want to step into their power, not have somebody else take away their power. This program, though, is not for all people. It's not for anyone who wants me to fix their lives or provide all the answers or want other people to fix them. It's also not a place for you to come in and try to fix other people. This program is for people who want to take action. You know, people don't need to be fixed or saved. They need tools to step into their power and change themselves. And I teach you those tools. I facilitate the safe and sacred space for you to do this. And I share with you the knowledge and wisdom that I've gained over the years in living this life. I feel very strongly that we are living in a time where global change makers need to step into their power and be the inspiration for others to do the same. So it's time to step out of whatever box you find yourself in, to heal the past wounds, to repack that baggage you carry and put it into a smaller carry-on. Don't carry around everything that you have had to do all of your life. And to stop living your life for others and start living your best life ever. And to be powerful. And as Isabel would say, to be happy. To simply be happy. So do you want to join me for this adventure? Here are the details. The card is open for VIP registrations until midnight, Monday the 29th. After which the price will increase for anyone who misses that deadline and will remain open until Thursday, September 1st. The spaces are limited. I don't want thousands of people. I want to know your name. I want to know your story. And I can't do that with thousands of people. So the cart will close early if those spaces fill up. And I expect it to. It is quite the deal. I have been coached by several that the price is far too low for everything that I'm offering. And I have butted heads with some. But I look forward to working with you and helping you to find your way into your soul and to unlock that deep inner wisdom, to step out of the box and into your life. There is so much that we can do together. So I will see you on the other side, and I will see you online in your soul portal. in your soul pod. Thanks, guys.